Hello, everyone, and welcome. So, if you're getting ready for your WAEC, NECO, or JAM exams, you know this topic, types of political systems, is a big one. It shows up all the time. Well, today we're going to absolutely master it. Let's do this. So, have you ever really thought about this? What's the actual difference between a republic and a democracy? And where does a monarch even fit into all of this? These are the exact kinds of tricky questions that examiners love to throw at you. But don't worry, by the time we're done here, you'll be answering them with total confidence. Hey students, it's me, Hamed, your government teacher from Exam KP. And my whole goal today is super simple, to make you an expert on this topic. I want you to walk into that exam hall feeling ready, feeling confident, and ready to grab every single one of those marks. So, let's dive right in. Okay, so here's our game plan for today. First, we're going to start with the basics, how we classify these systems. Then, we'll explore all the major government types you need to know. After that, and this is the best part, we're going to solve some real past exam questions together. And I'll wrap it all up with my top tips to help you nail that A1. Ready? Let's get started. All right, first up, Section 1, Classifying Political Systems. Look, this might seem complicated, but the key to understanding all of this comes down to one simple, powerful question. Who holds the power? That's it. That's the key. And this table here breaks it down perfectly. There are really just three main answers to that question. You've got autocracy, where all the power is in the hands of one single person. Think of a dictator or an absolute monarch. That's rule by the one. Then there's oligarchy. Here, a small elite group holds all the power. We call that rule by the few. And finally, you have democracy, where the power belongs to the citizens, to the people. That's rule by the many. Seriously, if you can just remember this simple framework, the one, the few, and the many, you've got the foundation for everything else we're going to talk about. Okay, let's jump into Section 2. Now we're going to see how that basic idea, the one, the few, the many, builds into the specific types of governments you are definitely going to see on your exams. We're talking everything from ancient monarchs all the way to modern presidents. So let's talk about monarchy, because not all monarchies are the same. On one hand, you've got an absolute monarchy. This is where the king or queen has total, complete control. They often say they have a divine right to rule, that their power comes directly from God. A good example today is Saudi Arabia. But then, on the other hand, you have a constitutional monarchy, like what they have in Great Britain. In this system, the monarch is really just a symbolic head of state. All the real power is held by an elected government, like a parliament. So that's the absolute crucial difference to remember. One has all the power, and the other is mostly for show, ceremonial. Okay, so what about a republic? Think about countries like Nigeria or the United States. The whole idea comes from Latin, res publica, which literally means a public matter. And that's the key. It means a few things. First, leaders are elected. They don't inherit their power. Second, the people have what's called popular sovereignty. That just means the ultimate power is with the citizens. And this is a big one. The rule of law applies to everyone, even the leaders. Nobody is above the law in a true republic. All right, now let's look at a much darker system, totalitarianism. And the key word I want you to burn into your brain here is total. Just think total control. Because this isn't just about politics. A totalitarian government tries to control every single thing. We're talking about public life and private life, your job, your religion, your morals, even what you think. It's the most extreme form of government control you can imagine. Okay, theory's done. You've got the concepts down. Now for the really fun part. Let's put this knowledge to the test. We're going to tackle some real past exam questions from WAEC, JAM, and NECO. This is where you see how to turn what you know into high marks. Let's start with a classic essay question from WAEC. They're asking you to explain the difference between absolute and constitutional monarchy. Okay, so how do we approach this to make sure we get every single point possible? Simple. You build your answer in 4 clear steps. Step 1, define absolute monarchy. Make sure you mention that supreme authority and the whole divine right thing. Step 2, define constitutional monarchy. Here, you have to emphasize that its power is limited and the role is ceremonial. Step 3, and this is the most important part, directly compare the difference in power. You need to say in one, the monarch is the government, in the other, an elected body runs things. And finally, step 4, lock in those top marks with specific examples. Mention Saudi Arabia for absolute and the UK for constitutional. An answer structured like this just screams, I know my stuff to the examiner. And hey, let me give you a pro tip. This is something examiners see all the time. The most common mistake students make is they forget to clearly state that in a constitutional monarchy, the monarch has almost no real political power. You have to spell that out. It's a small detail that makes a big difference and will really set your assignment apart. Okay, next up, let's try an objective question from JAMB. This one is from 2019. Ready? In a parliamentary system, the head of government is usually is it A, president, B, monarch, C, prime minister, or D, speaker? Take a second, think about it. And the correct answer is C, the prime minister. And this is a super important distinction that you would definitely be tested on. In a parliamentary system, right, you have two separate roles. You have a head of state, who is often a monarch or a president, but that's a symbolic job. The person with the real power, the one running the government day to day, is the prime minister. All right, one more. This time it's a case study from NECO. Imagine a small town holds a meeting every year where all the residents, every single one, show up and vote directly on the town's budget. What type of democracy would you call that? This is a great question because it tests if you can apply the definitions. The answer is direct democracy, sometimes called pure democracy. And the reason is right there in the name. The citizens are participating directly in making the decisions. They aren't electing representatives to vote for them. They are doing it themselves. That direct participation is the whole point. Okay, we're on the home stretch now. Let's move into our final section. Think of this as your ultimate cheat sheet, the key info you need to lock down to secure that A1 in government. Let's do a super quick rapid-fire review. You see monarchy, you think hereditary rule, the one. You see republic, you think elected head of state, the many. Totalitarianism, total state control, the one or the few. In democracy, popular sovereignty, the many. Seriously, take a mental picture of this table. It's gold. And before we go, let me leave you with my top 4 pro tips for the exam. Number 1, always start an essay with a clear definition. It's easy marks. Number 2, use real examples. Mentioning countries shows you know what you're talking about. Number 3, master those key comparisons, especially presidential versus parliamentary. And number 4, look for clues in the keywords of the question itself. Remember, the total in totalitarian literally tells you the answer is about total control. You guys did a fantastic job today. Seriously, you've built a super solid foundation on political systems. Just keep reviewing these key ideas, keep practicing with those past questions, and I promise you that A1 is within your reach. Hey, if this was helpful for you, do me a favor and share it with your friends and classmates. And of course, subscribe to our channel so you don't miss the next lesson. And don't forget, for thousands more practice questions to really sharpen your skills, head on over to www.examkp.com. Keep up the fantastic work, and I'll see you next time.